We are very close to starting. I'm going to wait just a couple of more minutes just to make sure that everyone finishes their cup of tea and signs on. So just give us a few minutes. Feel free to look at the chat. So you'll see that the user interface is slightly different if you've been on these webinars before, but the chat is on the right. Just say hi, where you're coming from. Jonas from Hamburg. So hi, Jonas. The chat you can actually make disappear if you want. If it's getting on your nerves and it's a bit of a distraction, you'll see the arrow there on the right at the top. You can just pop that in and it disappears. Joe, there's a Matt there from Toronto. Do you know him?
Matt.
It could be your old buddy from school.
Wow, we're getting all over the place. That's wonderful.
Have you heard of Harrogate, Joe, from the UK?
No, I'm learning new towns and states.
If you're ever in the north, go to Harrogate. It's a very lovely town, and there's Betty's tea rooms you need to go to.
Betty's tea room. Oh, Vancouver, BC. South Africa. Wow. There should be some prize for like participant furthest away.
Yeah, either furthest away or the most extreme time zone, right? So we should have a look. So we've got India, and Pakistan. We're assuming that that's probably
middle of the
close
night.
to midnight, right?
Definitely.
Harrogate, best place in Yorkshire. There we go, Joe. You need to visit Harrogate when you're there, if you come over.
Japan. Wow. Ecom does not sleep, apparently.
No, it doesn't.
So cool.
Hong Kong. It's got to be late in Hong Kong, you know. I think that's Uno is winning so far, Uno.
Oh, Lake Winnipesaukee. Wow, that should be the bonus question at the end. Spell that.
Yeah, crikey, yeah. Oh my God.
Azzolari is an Italian last name. Yes, it is Valentina, but don't ask me to pronounce it because I'm very much Canadian.
Brilliant. Hey, look, great guys. Thanks for proving that the chat works. We're close to kicking off. Oh, Guadalajara. That's another one to spell, Joe.
Totally.
Excellent. Right. Thank you for joining. So, very evidently, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. My name's Neil. I'm head of partnerships here at Judge.me, and today we're going to be talking through everything customer retention and loyalty. What it is, what we can do to improve customer retention, and what might the benefits be. For those that have attended the webinars previously, you reached out via our feedback forms, and we listened to you, right? So lots of people were getting annoyed with the chat. Doesn't seem to be, because you're all chatting very nicely away. But you can remove that chat. So there's a little arrow pointing right up towards where it says chat, and you can make that disappear should it become a distraction. However, we do want your questions. So if you've got a question, please pop that in the chat. If it's a really quick and easy question, we might just answer it on the chat. We've got a couple of colleagues here working and helping us. And if not, we will try and get to it at the end. If we don't have time towards the end, we're obviously going to email you with a response after the presentation. So let me go on to our next slide. So Black Friday and Christmas might seem a distant memory. However, your customers needn't be. The holiday season is a fantastic way for gaining new customers, new people coming to your store for the first time. The trick is how to keep them. And today we're going to discuss how you retain your customers to grow your business without it costing the earth. And I'm delighted to be joined by Technology Partner Manager at Gorgias, Joe Fazzolari. Have I said that right, Joe?
Again, that's how I pronounce it. But if you ask an Italian in the chat to send in a voice note, likely not.
Lovely to meet you, Joe. And thank you for being with us. So the Growth Unlock series is a monthly webinar where we ask different guests each time for their expertise, hints, tips, insider knowledge on a particular subject. So our next webinar is going to be on February the 20th at the same time, and it's going to be related to like paid ads, so Meta and Google and that sort of thing. So date for your diaries. Please follow us on LinkedIn. We'll pop a link in the chat just not to miss this webinar or other events and webinars we have. We have product webinars, we have in-person events. So please feel free to follow us on LinkedIn. Again, we'll answer the questions either later on after the presentation or on email directly. So good stuff. We're always looking to improve, and we have improved. We've listened to your feedback on the user experience last time. So we will add a link to the chat after the presentation to ask you for your feedback, which we really do appreciate and we take on board. Okay, let's get into it. So what impacts customer retention? So loyalty programs and referral schemes. We partner with many referral and loyalty apps, and you can check these out on our website. Alternatively, Judge.me has our own referral widget where you can reward existing customers by way of a discount for recommending your products to their friends and family. Our multiple loyalty integration partners allow you to reward customers for leaving you reviews, and that includes like photo and video reviews. You can offer more loyalty points if they leave a photo review, if you're trying to encourage more photo reviews, as we know they're more trusted and they garner more engagement. Alternatively, you can have the same amount of points for just reviews in general. Subscriptions. So subscriptions are a great way to retain your customers. I've always previously associated subscriptions with services such as, your Netflix and your gym memberships. However, during COVID, I saw some really interesting subscription models. The ones that piqued my interest, not personally, but were beauty and makeup subscriptions. I love that idea of you've run out of lipstick, not me personally again, but you've run out of lipstick or eyeliner or whatever, and you've got a subscription that keeps coming. Food boxes was another one that was sort of like pretty big in COVID. And then the new one, I don't know if it's hit your countries at the moment, but it's toilet rolls. So that's a big thing at the moment, toilet rolls. Also, I was just speaking to a partner recently about fashion subscriptions, and I was like, well, how does that work? And apparently you can hire out clothes and accessories for a particular month or season. So if you're from where Joe lives, it's very, very cold. So you can get your roll necks and your big jackets and stuff for winter. You can then send it back and then get your subscription will then change that into, more bikinis, Joe, or something like that for the summer and the spring months. And they do get nice summers in Toronto. I've actually been over there. So enrolling your customers on subscription models increases customer retention and obviously increases repeat business as well. Next is customer service. And this is something that Joe's going to be digging a bit deeper into a little bit later. Your customer service is so important. It could be the first time you're personally interacting with your customers. So make sure you measure first response times and also how long it takes to resolve issues. Then look to improve these numbers because we know that customer service has a really big impact on loyalty and retention. Offer multiple ways for your customers to communicate with you, but also set their expectations. So i.e., on live chat, you always see a response time of say 30 minutes, but if you decide to email us, which is fine, the response time is 24 hours. It's very, very key to set their expectations so then not to disappoint your customers. Customer retention and loyalty is all about building emotional relationships with your customers. Positive emotion makes them return to your store. And we know that buying decisions are often led by emotion. So make sure your customers' support and interaction is a positive one. And don't be afraid to spend money on retaining customers. Leverage customer reviews to build those emotional relationships. Respond to reviews, not just negative reviews. So even if someone's taken the time to leave you a positive review, sometimes just a thank you for your positive review really goes some way to increasing engagement with your customers. And like I say, building out those emotional relationships, which is so, so important. So we're just going to quickly just take a little time out. You'll see on the chat, next to the chat, if you've closed it, please open it. You'll see the poll. And the poll is, just keen to know what approximately your customer retention rate is. So do you know it? And if you don't know it, pop that in there as well. We'll just give you a few seconds to fill that out. And then I'll give you some stats on where you should be and where you need to be. It gives me time to have some water as well.
Everyone's quickly logging into their Shopify to check these numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good stuff. Right, there's lots of people that don't measure it, so that's something that maybe, like you say, you can look at data analyst or your Shopify store or whatever to find it out. Because if you don't measure it, you can't manage it. Okay, of the people that do know, less than 15% seems to be the majority. Okay, so this gives us a really good opportunity. So the average of e-commerce retail, the average is 35%. If it's less than 25%, you've got a serious problem. So anything that's 25% and less, this is probably should be at the top of your to-do list. Have a look at your customer retention. Spend some money on retaining your customers, because we know it's cheaper than actually going out and finding new customers. And the ones that don't know, that's key. Go and find out what your customer retention rate is, and then you can start improving it, right? But thanks for that. Really interesting sets of results, and we'll certainly use that in some of our communications going forward. Okay. The benefits of retaining customers. So to start with, if you can keep your existing customers happy and sure they come back for more, it's going to cost you less than continuously having to find brand new customers, right? We know that that's an old age a problem with businesses, growing businesses. The Harvard Business Review found that acquiring a new customer can be between 5 and 25 times more expensive than keeping an existing one. We all know that finding new customers is difficult. Therefore, putting budget aside by investing in your existing customers is going to pay off. And that could be things like a loyalty platform that we discussed. It could be an email service provider by contacting your customers with promotions and coupons and information about products, all this sort of stuff. Or it could be a customer support solution. Many of them exist, and Joe is an expert on that. Knowing the sentiment that your customers hold for you makes it easier to communicate to them. So your happy customers will be pleased to see an offer on a product that maybe complements their purchase. Those that had a less than perfect experience may need additional work, and therefore a coupon on offer might be the best way to see them purchase again. However, the key is knowing more about your customers, and Judge.me allows you to know how your customers currently feel about you, and it just helps you with the communication to those partners. Improve your bottom line. So research from Bain & Co shows that increasing your retention rate by 5% can improve revenue by 25%. I've never quite understood that stat, but I'm not going to argue with the big wigs at Bain & Co. And increasing referrals. Obviously, by retaining your customers gives them the opportunity to recommend you to their friends and family. So having more happy returning customers make it more likely they will recommend your products to others. They can do this by word of mouth, and often do. But an effective review strategy, their message can get to millions more online. Let your customers be your sales and marketing teams for you, but always also remember to respond. Showing that human side is often lost online. You know, all those then great interactive points you can get in a store on your high street is often lost online. So responding to those reviews, interacting with reviews shows that there's a human element to what behind your store, and that again increases loyalty and customer satisfaction. Okay, I just got to find my cursor. So Judge.me. So how did Judge.me and the reviews that you've currently got helps increase customer loyalty? So for those of you using Judge.me, some tips and tricks on using your existing reviews to help with customer loyalty. So build trust using your invites. state that constructive feedback will be used to improve your business. So we're not just asking you for a review just to tick a box. We're asking for a review because we really value your opinion and we want to improve our processes. At the start of the webinar, I said that we'd listened to your feedback and changed our webinar platform. Customers like to be listened to. So if you listen and implement change, customers will feel more wanted, which in turn builds loyalty. So hopefully you feel more loyal towards us at Growth Unlocked because we've changed the user interface, the webinar software. And I hope the chat function is a lot better than previously. Create brand advocates. Customers that have a great experience with your company will want to share their experiences. So make sure they have a voice. Amplify your reviews, just not on the website, but on other platforms such as social media and also traditional advertising and marketing materials. And you may wish to set up an ambassador program as well as a referral links that we talked about earlier. So the more that your customers are talking about you, the more that they see that you're amplifying their reviews, the more likely that they're going to recommend you and become loyal customers. Share customers with the rest of the business. So positive reviews will help build confidence in your colleagues that they know they're doing a great job, especially if they've been mentioned in a positive review as well. But negative reviews can help improve processes or production of a particular product. And again, will in turn show customers that you've been listening because you're increasing processes or particular product off the back of their feedback. Again, this just helps build loyalty and customer retention. Engage with your customers by responding to reviews. Obviously respond to all negative reviews and try and do that within 48 hours, but also respond to positive reviews as well. Again, what I mentioned earlier, this builds emotional relationships with your customers. It shows you care and appreciates your feedback, and in turn, this builds loyalty and increases customer retention. Judge.me reviews helps retain customers. So coupons can help increase customer retention by rewarding loyalty, encouraging repeat purchases, and creating a sense of value. Our coupon functionality offers customers money off their next purchase. If they leave a review, you can configure this to be a coupon for a review with an image or a video. Regardless of how you configure your coupons, rewarding customers for leaving a review show you value their opinion and increases the chance of them returning. Referral links we touched on earlier as well. These can be used to reward more customers. These can be used to reward both your customers and whoever they recommend to your store. So they're both getting potentially a discount off additional products. This gives you additional revenue streams and new customers for a fraction of the cost that it would normally be. Respond. Responding to negative reviews provides an opportunity to address issues, mitigate potential damage, show a commitment to customer service, and even turn a dissatisfied customer into a loyal one. It demonstrates to other potential customers that you're proactive and care about their experiences, which in turn will likely result in more reviews. If you see as a new customer that a merchant responds to reviews, you're more likely to leave a review because you know it's being seen and you're going to interact with it. The best opportunity to make advocates for your business is when something doesn't quite go to plan. So going above and beyond to rectify the issues plays positively with customers' emotions. A negative review is not the end of a customer journey. It's the beginning of an emotional relationship. And how you deal with it will depend on how that customer views your business, whether they continue to be a customer. So a friend of mine, Max, if you're listening, Max, he had an experience with Deliveroo about 10 years ago. So this was when Deliveroo was very, very new. And what happened was his meal turned up very, very late, and consequently, it was obviously cold. And Deliveroo could have just not responded to his review and just dismissed him, and they'd have lost Max for life. So you've got to understand what your lifetime value is of a customer, and then maybe spend money to try and mitigate the loss of that customer. Now, Max, what happened actually with Max is Deliveroo's CEO actually responded to him personally and gave him a full refund, and then I think it was a free meal for his next time of using Deliveroo. Max has told everyone. So actually, by what's happened was a negative experience turned into a positive experience, and now he's telling everyone, and now I'm telling you. So actually, the way that you respond to these negative reviews really has a positive impact on customer loyalty and retention. It's worth working out what your lifetime value is of a customer, and then that knows exactly what you might want to spend to try and keep that customer. An unanswered negative review can dissuade up to 30 customers from purchasing for you. So please answer those negative reviews. And if your customer lifetime value is, say, £500 per customer, this could impact your business by up to 15K. And then just a stat right towards the end, 83% of customers agree that they feel more loyal to brands that respond and resolve their complaints, which is pretty obvious, right? So if they're seeing that you're responding to other people, they know in the off chance that something might go wrong with their transaction, you're not going to stick your head in the sand, and you're actually going to go out and resolve the issue. Cool. So I'd like to now pass you over to Joe, who's been waiting very patiently, and he can talk you through how customer retention can lead to sustainable growth. Over to you, Joe.
Awesome. Thanks, Neil. Thanks for sharing some seemingly obvious, but also some really great stats to keep in mind when you're talking about reviews and loyalty. So I appreciate that. I'm going to be here talking to you today about customer support. So, those go hand in hand with reviews. Basically, what comes next after responding or seeing a review, whether it's positive or negative, it's that customer support initiative. So, some of us have just finished thawing out of the winter freeze that started at the end of 2024. But, what we want to focus on here today is you guys spent a lot of time investing in your business, putting a lot of thought and effort into topics that have already been covered here on this very webinar series, like SEO, demand generation. They were top of mind for everyone, all really in an effort to get as many eyeballs and new customers as possible to your store. So our conversation today is really about celebrating those efforts and making sure that they weren't put to waste. So Neil and I put our heads together to come up with ways to make sure those investments stick. Neil has shared some of his thoughts, and I'm here today to show you some of mine. So as the dust settles from the holiday season, it's a great time to reflect on the incredible opportunities this time of year brings. It's reported that during the holidays, 70% of shoppers discover and try new brands. So it's an unmatched chance for your business to get noticed, connect with new audiences, and drive sales. But here's the thing. Customer acquisition is just that first step. What happens next is even more critical. Without a solid retention strategy, many of those new customers could really be one and done buyers. So to sustain growth, we need to turn those seasonal shoppers into loyal advocates who come back again and again and hopefully again. Now, of course, there are loyalty programs that promise point systems and cash back, but that's not going to be the focus of today's conversation, with me at least. We're here to explore how exceptional customer service and customer support, proactive engagement, and the smart use of technology can make retention not just a goal, but a reality. So let's talk about why retention should be at the top of your priority list this year. First and foremost, this is one of my favorite quotes, and it's a financial no-brainer, really. Retaining an existing customer is up to 5 times more cost-effective than acquiring a new one. The cost of ads, discounts, and promotions used to attract these customers during the holidays, they really add up, as I'm sure you all are feeling. So why not maximize the value of those efforts by keeping them engaged year-round? Retention also has a direct impact on revenue. So repeat customers, while they may only represent about 21% of your customer base, or at least an example, 21% of your customer base can contribute to a staggering 44% or more of your total revenue. Here's another key stat. A small 5% improvement in customer retention can increase profitability, by up to 45%, depending on your industry. So this makes retention not just a good strategy, but a critical driver of growth for your business. And let's not forget about your most loyal customers. The top 5%, you keep seeing that 5% number, but the top 5% who can generate up to 35% of your revenue. These VIPs are the backbone of long-term success for your business. Customer loyalty doesn't happen by accident, of course. It's built on great customer experiences, or CX as we'll refer to it here today. So let's start with why this matters so much. Over half of the customers, 54%, will leave a brand after just one poor experience. And that's a drastic reminder that every interaction really counts. On the flip side, good customer experience creates opportunity. For example, 80% of customers are more likely to buy when they receive personalized support. But that personalization goes beyond using a customer's name. It's really about understanding their needs, anticipating questions, and offering solutions that feel tailor made for them. So, where does customer experience have the most impact? It's not just during the purchase, it's after the transaction is complete. The post purchase phase is where loyalty is either won or lost. This is when customers might need help with tracking their order, resolving a return, or understanding how to use your product, even. Brands that excel here not only retain customers, but turn them into those loyal advocates that we've been talking about. Now, let's think about the challenges of managing customer interactions across the many sales channels that everyone seems to use these days. Imagine trying to keep track of those conversations in email, in chat, and all your different social media platforms, all while juggling tasks like updating the orders and dealing with return requests. It's overwhelming and it's inefficient. A centralized support system can be a game changer. By keeping all conversations in one place, or one pane of glass, as I like to call it, you can ensure that your team has full context for every interaction. Whether a customer reaches out through Twitter, Instagram, or live chat, they can respond quickly and consistently. Even better, some of the more modern support platforms can pull in detailed customer histories. So this means your team sees not just the current issue, but a complete view of the customer's journey thus far, including those past purchases and previous interactions with your team. This level of insight allows you to deliver faster, more personalized support, which leaves that lasting impression that we keep referring back to. So here on this slide, you can see a quote from Zoe that mentions how jungled it was at Eucora before switching over to one of those support platforms that we're highlighting. Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about how to make your customer interactions truly impactful. The key really is to automate the repetitive tasks, at least in our opinion, with tools like AI. So it's 2025. Answering frequently asked questions or providing order tracking information with AI agents really frees up your support team to focus on what matters, those high value interactions, the moments where your team has the chance to build those relationships, resolve the complex issues, and even identify like upselling or cross-selling opportunities. For example, take in a situation where a customer is asking about a product recommendation. With the extra time now on your team's hands, because AI agent is working on those more mundane questions, your team can not only guide them but also introduce complementary items that fit their needs. So by equipping your team with these smart tools that provide customer insights, you ensure that every interaction becomes an opportunity to drive that loyalty and that additional revenue as a result. These meaningful conversations are, truly where businesses can stand out from each other. So the post-holiday period is often overlooked. We might take it to, catch our breath, but it's actually the perfect time to strengthen your relationship with your new customers. And here's, some examples of how. First, focus on streamlining your returns and shipping questions. Quick fixes here can make a huge difference. Customers remember how easy or difficult it was to resolve their issues, and positive experiences can really turn those potential negative situations into like loyalty building moments. Second, pay attention to customer feedback, as we've heard today, especially reviews, like Neil has talked about. Reviews provide valuable insights into what your customers love and what they want to see improved, like the chat function that we all heard that feedback about last time. Act on this feedback and show customers that you're listening. Finally, don't underestimate the power of proactive engagement. Reach out to your VIP customers with those personalized thank you messages, exclusive offers, or even invitations to loyalty programs. Those small touches really leave that lasting impression and deepen the connection to your brand. So let's bring this to life with a real world example. Soup Shop was struggling with high question volumes during peak shopping seasons. Their response times were slow, and slightly embarrassing, and their customers were growing frustrated. By adopting tools that centralized their communications and automated routine questions, like we've talked about, they reduced their first response time to just over 2 hours, a dramatic improvement. And this allowed their team to focus on those complex issues we spoke about, rather than just getting bogged down in the repetitive tasks. The result was higher customer satisfaction, improved loyalty, and noticeable boost in repeat business. And this is the result of combining smart processes with the right technology that's now available today. So to put a bow on it, you know, what to look for in a customer experience tool if you're going to take what I've said and put it into action. Ensure the tool integrates seamlessly with your existing tech stack. For example, if you're on Shopify or any other e-commerce platform, look for a deep integration that simplifies essential actions. A good customer experience tool allows you to edit orders, update shipping addresses, or even cancel subscriptions directly within that platform. So that one pane of glass. Next, think about beyond support. The best customer experience tools don't just help with resolving issues; they actively drive revenue. Look for a solution that enables proactive campaigns, personalized outreach, and VIP customer engagement. These capabilities not only enhance customer lifetime value, but also position your CX team as revenue driving forces within your business. You also want to look for a tool that can grow with your business. So whether you're a small brand just starting out or an established powerhouse, your customer experience solution should really be adaptable. It should cater to your current needs while being robust enough to scale as you expand. Exceptional customer experiences shouldn't be limited to the size of your business, and they should grow with you. Finally, prioritize tools that offer a unified support experience. Remember that one pane of glass to handle all those interactions. The best tools also include advanced features like self-service options, the loyalty outreach we talked about, and integrations with the apps that you already rely on. So these capabilities really help create a consistent, efficient, and delightful experience for your customers across every touch point. Awesome. So to wrap things up, let's revisit that big picture. Customer retention is one of the most important drivers of sustainable growth. It's not just about keeping the customers, it's about building those relationships. And by focusing on exceptional experiences, leveraging automation, and listening to your customers, you can turn those interactions into loyalty strengthening opportunities. Let's make 2025 the year where retention becomes your superpower. Um, Thanks, Neil. Thanks, everyone, for joining. And I think it's time that we pass it on to the question period.
Cheers, Joe. I've got a quick question. I love the single pane of glass. Should merchants be concerned of having those multiple touch points coming in? Should they be a bit, it's going to be too many interactions with our customers, or should they embrace that and say, give every opportunity for customers to get in contact? So whether it is Twitter, chat, email, is phone still a thing? I'm not sure if that's still a thing.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Phone's definitely a thing. But to answer your question, I kind of take it back and put myself in the shopper's shoes. When something is wrong and when you as a shopper, as a customer, want to get help, sometimes you are reaching out in multiple different places. And if those experiences are disjointed, you know, you end up speaking to multiple different agents as a result on multiple different timelines. It can just make you even more frustrated with the brand, and thus chances of you never coming back are all the more likely. And like that's why having all those threads into one pane of glass, as I like to refer to it as, it really just allows you to have that experience become a better one for the customer, whether it's a good tone or it's a negative experience. I think having that context for the agent to put their best foot forward in the interaction is definitely the place to be.
Is it fair to say that it will improve your customer support if you, as you've put all those sort of like you say, all those touch points into one pane of glass? Let's just say someone might tweet you, but then leave you a review about the same issue. It's important that they just get handled by one agent. That's correct, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's really the name of the game, because again, communication is key. Like if we like bottled all of the things that we just talked about, whether it's reviews, loyalty, retention, customer experience, all into one word or theme, it would be communication. And communication is hard when you're doing it with people that aren't right in front of you. Actually, it can be hard sometimes with people that are right in front of you. And so, having the most context as possible in those interactions, like that's what's going to make your life easier ultimately, because you don't want a jumbled mess of, you said this then, but then changed your mind over here, and one agent said this to her and the other agent said this. It can quickly escalate into something that it doesn't need to be, in my opinion. And I've experienced that as a shopper, and we've heard those kind of stories time and time again with some of our discovery conversations with the brands that we work with, at least.
Nice. It's probably good at this point just to let people know about the integration that Judge.me has with Gorgias. And if people do leave you a negative review, that can feed straight into Gorgias, and people can actually respond to the reviews in that platform. So that's good. Hey, look, you guys have been, I haven't really been concentrating on the chat, but my colleagues have. So a big thank you to my colleagues who have been answering your questions on there. I'm just going to ask Ashley to just post the link again. I know she did earlier about the feedback. We're really, obviously, it's all about feedback and communication, as Joe said. So we're just going to ping that again. Please pop in your feedback on there. You can do it now, you can do it later, it's not a problem. And then we're going to go through some of your questions. I know that these guys have been squirreling away answering some of your questions. So we're going to answer whichever ones we can. So I'm just having a quick look now. First question from Heidi that I see. How do you increase customers writing reviews? Can you incorporate a coupon with the automatic review emails? The answer is yes. So I think probably what I would do is understand maybe when the best time is to send a review. You don't want to be sending them at middle of the night. So send them probably Monday to Friday between certain times. Have a look online about when the best time is to send emails, and that'd be the same for your reviews. I always suggest that in the actual invite, just explain how important their feedback is. So explain that actually this is not just ticking a box. This is something that we're actually going to take in-house. We're going to change. We're going to improve processes. And when people think that their review is going to be actually used and looked at, they're more likely to leave some feedback. But you can start that from the beginning by actually now responding to reviews, because obviously if they see that you're responding to reviews already, they're more likely to leave you a review because they know you're going to read it and potentially respond and engage. So the thing you can do right off the bat is obviously start responding to reviews now, and that can be positive ones as well. But obviously negative, it goes without saying, within 48 hours you should be sending a response to all negative reviews. And it just goes a huge long way. Cool, Joe. I saw a question here, Joe, for you. Does Gorgias integrate with Amazon?
The short answer is not directly, but it can be done through a third-party integrator. We'd be happy to, go into more detail about that. If you want to reach out and talk to our team, someone from our team can provide more detail or color than at least I can on that front. That's for sure.
Next question here is from Chris. I'll repeat a question that I recently asked one of your support staff as it's relevant to today's topic. I am as ever impressed by your amazing support, thank you, but I worry about Judge.me won't be able to maintain this level of support as you inevitably grow. Do you believe that you have a robust support scaling strategy to make sure it stays as good as it is? Shopify started great one-to-one support, but today you can't get past AI. Great question, Chris. Like, we are growing, but we're already fairly significant size already. So we have nearly 500,000 customers, which is crazy. And you're right, our support is good. It's one of our 5 pillars that underpin our success. And it's something that's not changing anytime soon. Now, you're going to ask me what those pillars are. But one of them is just being reviews, just being pure play on reviews. One is great value. You know that Judge.me is fantastic value at $15 per month. Constantly increasing the product for more features. But the other one is support. So it's one of our pillars that we're not going to change. So it's over investing in our support because we knows it adds value, and that increases our customer loyalty and retention. So I know we're slightly different. We're an app, but actually by offering superb 24/7 support, and you know, I feel that we're white glove support. So you know, often sometimes support might just send you a link or point you in the direction. Our support goes one better than that, and they actually, you know, often can actually go into your store and actually make the change themselves. So great question, Chris. It's not changing anytime soon, trust me, and inevitably we're going to grow off the back of that, and support is one of our main pillars. So thank you. Right, let's find a question for you, Joe. Have you found any in there that you want to take? You mentioned Shopify, and I think, Joe, you were at Shopify once. It says, is there a section we can find customer retention on Shopify? Is this the same thing as returning customer rate? Can you answer that, Joe?
It's been a while since I've been in the UI of the Shopify admin. I thought when we initially brought it up, there were a few helpful Samaritans that had the click-through instructions.
Oh, amazing. If they could put that in the chat now, that'd be amazing.
Oops. Yeah, it'd be great if there was a search function within the chat, or maybe that's asking too much.
Hey, what I'll do, I'll find out for you. And I'll respond. So all the questions that we don't get to, I can follow up with an email. So I will find out for you, because I'm actually quite interested in the answer as well. Pip Malpus has asked a question. Can you please give some insight into what makes an email campaign powerful? I'm constantly bombarded by companies I've purchased from emailing me, so I tend to just delete them without reading. Obviously, I don't want the customers doing the same. Yeah, I know. I guess it's just got to be compelling, right? I think you're right. Sometimes you're not even getting into the actual email to see if it's compelling. You might be looking at your subject line. So I would say things like subject line is really, really important. When you send it, right? When actually send it, people, you know, I think, and look online, or I can answer on email, but I think typically between like 9 and 11 in the morning is a good time. And then in the afternoon, I think sort of like, you know, 3 till 5, is it? Try and avoid lunch times. There's certain days of the week, believe it or not, I think, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are better than sending them on Mondays and Fridays. So I'd be looking at all that sort of stuff. Pip, when's the best time to actually send them? What the subject line is? Whether you can include the customer name in the subject line, and then just make the text as compelling as possible. But yeah, you're right. We do get inundated with emails. I think we're all in that boat, aren't we? Cool. Joe, one here. Sometimes customers bring up CX issues rather than product issues in a review. How much of that could be resolved in responding to reviews as opposed to private email with a customer? I guess that might be for me.
Yeah, I guess that's like a two-parter. It's funny that you say that, because, you know, sometimes, at least in like discovery types of conversations with brands that we're working with initially, you know, we do take a look at the reviews on their website that are related to customer support or customer experience, like messaging slow response time, or mentioning slow response times, you know, or you know, the like. And so that's actually an area where we feel most comfortable talking about, because that's where we believe our bread and butter comes into place, which is allowing you to respond to those inquiries faster, whether that's just by having it all in one pane of glass as a human agent, or implementing something like an AI agent that Gorgias offers to quickly respond to simple questions that might get missed by humans' eyes. We've talked about it time and time again. That's where really, like, it seems like a small thing in the, like, when we talk about it out loud, but it can actually make a huge difference when you talk about the percentage of customers that are more likely to come back and spend with you just because they got a question answered about a specific product that an AI can answer quickly. So, while the momentum is going with that customer that's on there looking to do some retail therapy shopping, we want to make sure that they get their questions answered as quickly and as possible.
Cool. I think we've got time for one last question. We're about time. So Regina's asked, so the integration is just 15 per month. How does that compare with Gorgias' rate of 300 per month? Probably talking about cross purposes there. So the integration between Gorgias and Judge.me is completely free. But yeah, I don't know what Gorgias charge. That might be one of their plans. But we have a very simple pricing strategy. It's a free plan or $15. So it's really simple. The integration is part of the awesome plan. So yeah, for $15 you get all the great features of Judge.me and the integration with our fantastic partners, one of which is Gorgias. So I'd just like to thank you, Joe, for your contribution today. Really appreciate you sharing your knowledge and wisdom with our customers. So thank you very much. And thank you for attending. And we'll be back next month with another Growth Unlocked. Oh, yes, we have a Shopify meetup as well. For all those in London, there wasn't many earlier, to be fair, but those in London, we've got a Shopify meetup. And Ashley's going to put that in the link in the chat as we speak. So if you're in and around London and you want to come and talk to Judge.me or talk about all things Shopify, including retention, including CRO, SEO, all those sorts of things, please sign up and come along. Brilliant. Have a great rest of your day, however long's left of it, and we'll see you next month. Cheers. Bye.